Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Strange Talk with Doc. We got a lot to get to today, so let's not play around. I am going to deal with a lot of subject matters, but I want to start off with something that means a lot to me. And it's me, Gabriel Collins Vetta Gilmore Waters, better known as Genesis, Pearl Jam, and Pink Floyd. Now, these songs got me through a lot of moments in life. Is it the only music I listen to? No. But do I consider these to be my three go-to groups when I need to think, when I need to retool, when I need to calm down, when I need to refocus? Yes, I do, because they gave me a lot of life lessons. Music is a beautiful thing. It's my very first love. I will love it to the day I die. And if you have not been turned on to this music, I hope that this helps you. Uh, there are all forms of music I listen to, but there are other musics that don't touch me the way these particular groups and individuals do. And I'm going to go through some songs that mean a hell of a lot to me, and hopefully you could put them in your repertoire. You could put them on your song list. You can give them a try. So if you've never heard of these people, I'm going to school you. And if you already are familiar with them, I'm going to bring back some tunes to your memory that you're going to say, yeah, that was pretty damn cool. So without further ado, let's get to it. Gabriel, he gave us Salisbury Hill, Don't Give Up, San Janico, Family Snapshot, Mercy Street, On the Air, Have the Touch, Sledgehammer, In Your Eyes, Here Comes the Flood, Shock the Monkey, Red Rain, and Games Without Frontier. Now, Phil Collins gave us Take Me Home. I Wish It Would Rain Down. I Don't Care Anymore. You Can't Hurry Love. If Loving Me Is Easy. Two Hearts. A Groovy Kind of Love. Something Happened on the Way to Heaven. I Missed Again. Don't Lose My Number. One More Night. Against All Odds, Another Day in Paradise, and In the Air Tonight. Now, Genesis, which is my number two group all time, which consisted of also Peter Gabriel and Phil Collins as the lead singer, they gave us Land of Confusion, Supper's Ready, Mama, That's All, Turn It On Again, Abacab, Follow Me, Follow You, Follow Me, I'm sorry, In Too Deep, The Lamb Lays Down on Broadway, No Son of Mine's, Misunderstanding, No Reply at All, and Jesus, He Knows Me. Pink Floyd, who took me through a phase of time where I literally listened to one record every day or watched the movie The Wall every day for a solid year. I know that's lunacy, but I did. I was in a place and this was speaking to me. Pink Floyd, which consisted of David Gilmour and Roger Waters, right? They Comfortably Numb, Time, Wish You Were Here, Shine on You Crazy Diamonds, all forms of that. Money, Another Brick in the Wall, all forms of that song. Hey You, Us and Them, High Hopes, Brain Damage, The Great Gig in the Sky, Have a Cigar, The Trial, Mother, Welcome to the Machine, Learning to Fly, Goodbye Blue Sky, Is There Anybody Out There? Don't Leave Me Now, Nobody's Home, and Vera. My number one group of all times is Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam, I've been listening to these guys since their inception. They have been there for me every moment of my life, at every situation of my life, ups, downs, sideways, lonely, uh, buddies, nobodies, you name it. Every moment of my life, they have been there. Pearl Jam gave us Black, Jeremy, Better Man, Yellow Ledbetter, Rearview Mirror, Once, Corduroy, Last Kiss, State of Love and Trust, Why Go, Nothing Man, Porch, Just Breathe, Go, Get Away, Off He Goes, Unthought Known, Tremor Christ, The End, Soon Forget, Dance of the Clairvoyance, Super Blood Wolf Moon, I Am My, Duty Evolution, and River Cross, which is off their last album. Now, Eddie Vedder, who is my all-time leading singer, performer, musician, he gave us Long Nights, Guaranteed, Society, Invincible, Power of Right, Brother the Cloud, The Haves, Rose of Jericho, Try, and Mrs. Mills, which was off his last album, the album that is out now. And if you have not heard Eddie Vedder and the Earthlings, do yourself a favor and give this album a shot. I know that everybody does not like rock music. They don't like stuff like that. They just basically into R&B and hip hop. But you know what? Have some variety in your life. You don't eat pizza every day. Try something new. Don't be afraid to try and listen to something new. You never know what you might hear. I listen to music sometimes that I don't even understand the language, and it still speaks to me because the melody is beautiful, the music is beautiful. I'm a drummer. I love drums. That's why I love Phil Collins so much. And these are not, like I said, the only groups I listen to. I listen to a massive amount of groups. I listen to Nina Simone. I listen to Jay-Z. I listen to Rakim. I listen to Slaughterhouse. I listen to even Taylor Swift, man. I listen to whoever is putting out a good product. Now, this week, Paul Herman died at the age of 76. You remember him from The Sopranos. He also was in The Irishman. Tyree Simpson, the 14-year-old football player who died on that ride in Florida. There's a lesson to be learned here. If you do not feel comfortable doing something, please do not do it. Don't let your death be the narrative of your fear. If you do not feel comfortable doing something, don't allow peer pressure, don't allow being made fun of to be the reason that you do something. Think it through. Be able to take the arrows, the slings and the arrows of saying no. We have to learn to do it. So I say rest in peace to this young man who didn't even get a chance to live. The Wanted's lead singer, or one of their lead singer, Tom Parker, died from a brain tumor at the very young age of 33. And if you don't know who the Wanted is, you could just put this song on, and I guarantee you will bring them back to memory. The song is Glad You Came. That was one of their big hits. Estelle Harris, who played Estelle Costanza on Seinfeld, and Mrs. Potato Head. Everybody knows Miss Costanza. She died at the age of 93. And yes, 2 days ago, we had a mass shooting in Sacramento, California that cost 6 lives, and 12 people are fighting for their lives right now. We have another mass shooting. I don't know the circumstances. I don't know why this happened. All I know is that it's a tragedy. As a person who's pro-gun, I don't believe that you indiscriminately just take lives. Being pro-gun does not mean indiscriminately take lives. There are always innocents, and if the person that's not trying to do you deadly harm, you should not be bringing anybody else any harm but the person who's trying to do you deadly harm. Keyword being deadly harm. If it is something that you can walk away, you don't even need to introduce a pistol to the party. So COVID-19 is up to 82 million cases, and 1 million people in the United States of America have now died. 559 million people are vaccinated in one way, shape, or another. Worldwide, we have 472 million cases and 6.2 million people have died. We are dealing with this Russia-Ukraine deal. There's a lot of murky stuff coming out. Is Russia committing war crimes? Are we going to be involved? Is Biden going to make sure that America stays out of harm's way when it comes to this type of thing? Putin seems completely out of control. He underestimated Ukraine and overestimated his own people. This is very murky. The Kajanji Brown Jackson Supreme Court confirmations should drop this week. And as we all know, that she is highly qualified and should be confirmed as a Supreme Court justice. But there's always going to be mud in the water. This is just the way we live. This is just the way the world is. AOC called on Clarence Thomas to resign or face impeachment because of his wife's ethical breaches. Now, she is not the only one who's asked for this, but her being who she is, she's front and center. Her name rings bells with the media. They like this type of thing. Do I think anything's going to happen to Clarence Thomas? No, I do not. Do I think anything's going to happen to his wife? No, I do not, because people don't pay for their crimes the way they once did in our society. So this Giselle Maxwell was denied a retrial, even though the juror failed to disclose he was sexually abused. Because you want to know something? She shouldn't be retried. This dude was dead wrong. He should have never lied. He should have never left her an opening. But she's going to be rescheduled for sentencing on June 28th. We found out this week that on Hard Knocks, we're going to get the Detroit Lions. They don't have a lot of stars on this team. I think that Dan Campbell is the biggest star on the team, and he happens to be the head coach, but it'd be interesting to see how I love Hard Knocks, so I'll be watching it. I watched some TV this week, not a lot of TV, but I'll go through some things that I did see. SWAT, we had Officer Tan, CI, his informant, dealing with a robbery crew. We found out that the Commander Hicks has not taken vacation since his wife died, which was a problem. They wanted him to see a therapist. Bob Hart's Abishola, her mother overstayed her welcome, but her and Abishola came to an agreement that she doesn't really want her to go back to Nigeria to an unhappy marriage. So more than likely, she's going to stay on the show. I watched Power, where Tommy found his nephew's stash. I can't wait to see where that goes, because now Tommy knows who this kid is, but the kid probably doesn't know that Tommy's the one who found his stash. JP actually called Tommy and his mother. Gloria gets killed. They got this Gary, Indiana mob that got involved. So it was a very interesting show. I mean, it took a while for the season to build up, but Power started to get where it needs to go. I also watched The Good Doctor. It dealt a lot with sex. It dealt a lot with people having sex. And the funny thing was, a couple actually got stuck together, as we would think of dogs getting stuck together during sex, because the woman was a virgin, and it was, you had to see it to really understand it. This is us dealt with Randall, Deja, Malik, and Becca. It was a very interesting story. Once again, Deja said some disrespectful things to Randall. He wanted to go out to Harvard to get her, and Becca decided that she wanted to come with him, and there was some lessons learned. Kate told Kobe that she was not willing to move to San Francisco. Now, there are a couple of shows that I'm going to say are complete and utter trash, not worth your time. And if you like them, me and you have totally different tastes of television. And these shows, quite simply, are Atlanta, which thinks it's smarter than everybody, 911, which is total garbage, and The Marvelous Miss Maisel, which is completely and utter unwatchable. I watched The Walking Dead, where Lance was searching Hilltop. We got into Mercer and Princess having a love affair. April and Lance. April was offered a job by Lance to come work for him. Now, April is gung-ho on killing Maggie, so we got to see how that works out. The Young Rock. had to prove that Rocky Johnson was his father to a classmate who wouldn't believe that a pro wrestler was Young Rock's dad. And his father telling him, why even bother? Which was a good lesson to be learned. The rise of the Lakers dynasty dealt with Jack McKinney being introduced to the team. He's the guy who's going to start that run and gun. But as we know, Jack McKinney did not last long as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. I forget why, but we're talking about 4 decades ago. So it's not something that's just like in the forefront of my mind. Saturday Night Live had Gerard, Carmichael, and Gunner as the host and musical guest. Gunner was garbage. He's not for me. I mean, if he's your kind of musical artist, God bless you. Gerald, Gerard Carmichael was a very good host. They did a couple of good skits. One was the Rainbow Bush doll. I'm going to say that again. The Rainbow Bush doll on Shop TV. That was good. And also the funeral skit was very good. We had no UFC this weekend, but next weekend on 4/9, we have Alexander Volkanovski is fighting the Korean Zombie for the championship. Aljamain Sterling is fighting Peter Yan for the title. We got Mackenzie Dern versus Tisha Torres. Kelvin Gastelum is fighting Amavov, and Irene Aldana is fighting Aspen Ladd. Rosenstruck is fighting Turbaka. So that should be a good card on paper. I believe this is a pay-per-view card. We shall see. Well, as you know, it is WrestleMania 38 weekend. The Hall of Fame show was outstanding. The Undertaker received the degree of love that most human beings in their lifetime will never, ever get. These people cheered for him maybe for a solid 5 minutes without him opening his mouth, without him doing anything gimmicky, him just being Mark Calloway standing in that ring, and he received the love for the 30 plus years that he put in that business. Sharmell was very good. The Steiners were actually very good. Shad Gaspard's wife and son were presented the Warriors Award for his courage and his sacrifice to make sure that his young son was still on this planet today. I did not watch WrestleMania 38 Night 2. I'm going to do that today, but WrestleMania Night 1 was outstanding. Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch were great. Cody Rhodes returned to fight Seth Rollins. That was very entertaining. Stone Cold Steve Austin surprised me completely by actually wrestling KO. KO sold everything. It was beautiful. The Miz turning on Logan Paul was fantastic. Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, that was very good and entertaining. The Mysterios were in a very good match against Paul and the Miz, and Son. Oh my goodness, Boggs got hurt. Unfortunately, Boggs got hurt when both Usos were on his back. I guess he was trying to do a fireman's carry, and his knee gave out. I wish him the best, man. I like him. Nakamura and him were a great thing. I don't know what Nakamura does without him being there to lead him to the ring. It's not like he's going to hurt. They could just put the music on it. He could do his freaked out dance coming down, but it also boosted his career a little bit. People love it. I was always highly entertained by it. This week we have the first PGA Championship Major. The Masters starts on Thursday. Tiger Woods is dicking around with people saying it's a game time decision. When you say crap like that on Thursday and the tournament is, Sunday and the tournament is Thursday, and you know damn well if your leg can take walking 18 holes 4 straight days or not, I think that he's just doing this for attention. And a man of Tiger Woods' status, with the amount of attention that he's received over his lifetime, this is unnecessary. People are placing. So the NFL is going to adopt some new overtime rules. Understand, each team is going to get the ball twice, but if the first team scores a safety, game over. And then after each team has the ball one time, it becomes sudden death, which I like to begin with. Those defensive players get paid good money to stop offenses. We got to stop acting like defenses can't stop offenses. It's not like the NFL is scoring 60 points on both sides per game. So Malcolm Jenkins, he retired after 13 seasons. He's a two-time Super Bowl champ. The shock was Bruce Arians retired, and he's going to be replaced by Todd Bowles. Bobby Wagner signed a much longer deal than he'll ever make it through with the Rams. The NFL released a Hall of Fame class this week. Manu Ginobili from my San Antonio Spurs, Tim Hardaway, Swin Cash, and two coaches, George Karl and Bob Higgins. Bob Higgins coached in college, West Virginia, and Cincinnati, if I'm not mistaken. These are the 5 inductees in the Hall of Fame. The NCAA Women's Championship game was last night, and South Carolina, congratulations to you for beating one of my favorite teams, Ukriane Huskies. They won 64-49. This is Dawn Staley's second championship at South Carolina. And the NCAA Men's Championship, which would be North Carolina versus Kansas, happens tonight. I'm going to go with Kansas to win the championship. Now, the NBA games, I like to give you the top NBA games that I think are going to happen this week. And there are no games tonight to go up against the college basketball, which makes sense. Some respect for the young guys from the NBA. So Tuesday, you got the Bucks versus the Bulls. You got my San Antonio Spurs versus the Denver Nuggets. And by the way, the Spurs are now in the playoff. They have worked their way into being in the playoff tournament. Now let's see how they maintain going forward. Wednesday, you got the Celtics versus the Bucks, the Suns versus the Clippers. Then Thursday, you got the Celtics versus the Bucks. Again, both teams are balling out. You got the Cavs versus the Nets. The Nets, I don't know what to make of the Nets. I'm glad that I don't have good on the Nets going forward or winning the conference championship or the finals, because I don't know, man. Durant can go crazy. Kyrie can go crazy, and then still they can lose games. You got the Heat versus the Hawks. Saturday, you got the Warriors versus my Spurs. Every game counts for the Spurs going on. And because Sunday, you got the Lakers versus the Nuggets. The Lakers are on quite a losing streak. We thought LeBron James was going to return. Friday, he didn't. AD returned, but they still have not won with AD. They lost, like I said, 6 in a row, and the last 2 that he's been with them. Then you have my Spurs versus the Mavericks, and the Celtics versus the Grizzlies. And those are the supreme games, or the top games, that I think that you should probably be keeping your eyes on during this week if you're an NBA fan. Now, next week, I'm going to deal with why I do not follow. If you look at my social media, I do not follow anybody on any form of social media. I do not follow anybody on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. It's just not who I am, and I will explain why I do not. I won't get into that now. I just like to always put a teaser at the end of the show. And once again, if you get a chance, man, you check out Gabriel, you check out Collins, you check out Vetta, you check out Gilmore, you check out Waters, you check out Genesis, you check out Pearl Jam, and you check out Pink Floyd. If you can't get a message from one of these people, one of these groups, for your soul, for your mind, for your spirit, then I don't know what you're looking for, because they could touch you emotionally, they could touch you by driving you hard. They could touch you by telling you a story that might relate to a story that you deal with. And I want to tell you, people, like I tell you each and every time, that I appreciate you. If you get an opportunity, if you get a chance, and it's organic, I'm not begging, nor am I pleading, nor am I saying that you have to. But if you could reach out to me and just say what you think of the show, one way or another, I would appreciate that. I don't ask you to subscribe. I don't ask you to share. I don't ask you to repost. But I love to hear from people. I love to hear if anything that I say resonates in any way with anybody who listens. And once again, people, peace to you and peace to yours.